What is going on, PGL fans, and welcome to the weekly power rankings with me, your host Danekii, and co-host.
What's up, you guys? My name's SinisterSableye, and I'm ready to tell people how bad they are.
Hey, it's time to shit on people for being trash.
Yeah.
Or you know, at some point, because we're gonna get high on the list and then tell them how good they are.
Yeah.
So, why don't you go right on into the list, SS? Because you are taking the evens and I am taking the odds.
Sounds perfect. Alright, so at number 16, starting off at the bottom of the list, I do have the Seattle Smeargles, and if I'm correct, you also have them there.
We do both have the Seattle Smeargles and Sketchy Smeargle at the bottom of our list. Now, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'd be glad. Hashtag segues.
Segways all the way.
Alright, so, just look at my notes here. Lando eye counter, question mark? I mean, you have Alamomola,
But that died.
Yeah, that died, so that was basically it. Lando eye could sweep up the game, or so we thought.
But then, you did have that nice thing, though, with your natural gift Iced Talonflame, which I do give you credit for. That was really nice.
That was probably my favorite play I saw this week. I do have to give you credit for that. Risky Mienshao switch in on a Psychic Mesprit. Luckily it went for Thunderbolt, but still, there was no reason.
That is right.
Donphan doesn't switch into a Psychic, but you did anyway, because I got 2 code.
That's a very questionable play right there.
And then, last thing I have to say about it is Mienshao U-turning on a Tentacruel when it could have taken it down with a high jump kick or a knockoff. Knockoff was the better play, in my opinion.
Because even so, if you have high jump kick, you could risk the miss, and then knockoff I think was guaranteed KO anyways.
Yeah.
So just overall a safer play.
Yeah. But that's basically the match, and that is a win or loss for Sketchy. I want to see you climb up the ranks, and I'm sure you can do it, but you gotta prove it.
Yeah. So, on the number 15, I think we both have the Detroit Cobalions and an Nestor 27.
That is correct.
And a couple things that I have about an Nestor's match here is, first of all, Kofag does not 1v1 an Umbreon, and trust me, I do know from experience, you do not win that. If it has Heal Bell, you're going to lose that match. You can try all you want, but it's not going to win.
And it did reveal Heal Bell Umbreon.
So that just, right there, just means you're going to lose it. And from last week, I know you really enjoyed your, like in week 1, I know you enjoyed your D-Dance Crafty, because it really ended up putting a lot of work. But that does not mean that DD Scrafty is going to work every week. And you could have, for example, DD'd on the Umbreon, but that doesn't necessarily mean it would have made any huge change to the game. And also, Aqua Jet on Dragon Dance for Alligator, question mark?
Yeah.
Like, where was that? I kind of, like, when you have a setup, that's the same as having a Belly Drum Azumarill without Aqua Jet. You're supposed to have your priority.
Yeah, because Gator isn't the fastest thing. Like, Scarfers outspeed it even after +1.
That is very true, and it's not really hard to pick out a Scarfer to outspeed it at +1 either. And also, back on the Scrafty, I feel like a bulk up Shedskin set would have worked a lot better for you than your Dragon Dance Lumberry set. And other than that, you also have Rhydon. Get Red. That was just ouch, the Mega Horn switching on the Ladio.
Yeah.
360 Mega Horn. He saw you coming from a mile away. So that is a Nestor at 15.
I'm just imagining Rhydon playing Call of Duty.
Get no scope. Get no scope.
So, number 15. Anything else to add?
I have said my point, so if you want to add anything, that's up to you now.
Let's see if I have something to add here. So yeah, I did like the Gator set. Scrafty was wasted. Kofag doesn't 1v1 Umbreon. I did notice that you didn't have Willow on Kofagrius. Is that true? Wait, was that true? Did you see?
I don't recall seeing. I think it had Toxic.
Yeah, I think it chose Toxic over Willow, but with some of... I would have gone Willow in this situation, but... And I will say I did like the idea of Haze Kofagrius, because Mega Scizor is scary.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like he did ran Haze, I think. He sacked up his Kofag to go for Haze.
Yeah, he used Haze, because it was a +4 Mega Scizor.
Oh, all the memories. I remember that same matchup, but that was against a regular Scizor for me.
So,
So we just gonna segue on into number 14?
Yes, and I don't remember if you have the same thing as me for this one. I have the...
I think we both have the Diglets.
The Denver Diglets, yes. So
Yes, we both have the Denver Diglets at number 14. Vinny, Super Gassy, and the Denver Diglets.
Okay, now before I start, yes, there was a lot of crits happening. There was a lot of hacks happening.
There was a damage roll that really didn't work out in Vinny's favor.
But I do have a couple...
But it wasn't in his favor either.
I do have a couple of things to say. At the beginning of the match, it's a Rotom... I don't remember who switched in for Vinny, but I know Roserade switched in for Lax.
It was I think it was the Licky Licky.
Yeah, but he switches out Rotom on the... It was either Leaf Storm or Giga Drain. And it was a Grass move. And that's not a switch in. It's not.
It really is?
You're letting a... I think what he said is one of his win cons is take damage. Just like that. Crits happen. Nasty Plot Stealth Rock Infernape. I feel like if you're a setup Infernape, you shouldn't be running rocks, but that's just me.
Nasty Plot 3 attacks is way more useful than like limiting yourself to 2 moves and rocks.
Yeah, because...
And besides, from what I can recall, except for like of course your Belly Drum Azumarill, Stealth Rocks didn't do too much to Lax's team from like my memory.
Yeah, I don't really see it doing too much either. Weakness Policy, Rock Polish, Rhydon was nice, or Rhyperior, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Rhyperior.
Not
He has
Rhydon.
Rhyperior. I think I don't know. The Silk Scarfs I think is the ones who have.
Yeah, I was getting confused here, but that was a nice set, and it, you know, can do things.
It did things.
Yeah.
It did get off the Rock Polish on the EQ from the Flygon, I think it was.
Yeah, and then it took
And then the
down-
Weakness Policy pop.
And then it took down the Flygon.
Yeah, so that was nice, but then I have to add in, you have too much setup. Nasty Plot 8, Weakness Policy plus Rock Polish Rhyperior, Belly Drum Azumarill. It's not about the setup.
Vinny, I know how much you like your Azumarill. I will say that. I'm just adding that in. Also, my last note for him is, ouch, Azumarill.
Ouch, Azumarill indeed.
It did do things.
But luckily for Blax, which was his opponent, the damage roll was in his favor, and he did live the Aqua Jet, and that kind of sealed the game for it because Heracross lived. So Mega Heracross, you're a champ.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Vinny now. So number 13 with them.
Number 13, we have, well, I don't know, I think we still have the same. Because right here we have or at least I have, the Detroit Steel Wings and Crimson Seabat.
You have them at 13?
Yeah, I have them
I
at
have
13.
the Minnesota Wild Charge at 13. So.
Ah, okay, so you can talk about them following.
Alright.
Crimson. Zero Defense Chansey. I have a little bit of a problem with that because, as you said in your match as well, you have base 5 defense, or as you quoted, I have base 5 defense, I don't see a reason to invest in it. You're looking at it the completely wrong way. You have base 250 HP, you don't need to invest in that. And then you have base 5 defense, which needs the extra boost, because if you were to invest like the classic OU the Blob set from Chansey, you would have taken like tops like 58% from that superpower.
We did do calcs.
But we did run the calcs just to double check, and you could have lived 2 because of the attack drop, of course, and then you could have soft-boiled in his face and kept the Chansey alive. But then again, your opponent also took kind of an advantage with like Slowbro and Chansey being like setup fodder, healing Kyurem and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, the Focus Blast Thunderous was really unfortunate because you could have taken the Kyurem down, but of course you missed, which was it was really bad. It was really unfortunate on your end, but that is what happens when you rely on a move that is 70% accurate. And of course, your Heracross, you played your Heracross really well, got it in at the right time, but of course there was the Rocky Helmet on the Gastrodon that did put you down, and then Absol just kind of was able to take out your Heracross, and that was game.
Pretty much, I do have a couple things to add. One, the Swords Dance Quillfish. I mean, what do you do to Gastrodon exactly?
He was looking into it. I remember he mentioned that. He was wanting to look out because there was counter, so it means it was Gen 3. So he wanted to see if it got like Storm Drain. And I don't recall hearing anything about it after, so I mean, I'm actually gonna do that right now because Gastrodon does in fact have Storm Drain from Gen 3 as well, so
Yeah.
that is its second ability, so it wouldn't have mattered in the long run, so you couldn't have Waterfall.
And they have a bit of a thing here. Now, his opponent, Gearheart, did make some very good predictions with, like, you know, just general predictions, and I do have in my notes, when Slowbro switches in on a Wild Charge Emboar, I have Get Predicted! And then,
Predicted.
when Chansey switches into the superpower Nidoking,
Get Predicted too.
Predict harder.
And then, of course, one thing that I also want to add, just because you did mention it, and hoping that Fusion Flare would miss from Akira White, it's not Blue Flare, that's the one that can miss. Fusion Flare is the one that is 100 power, 100 accurate.
So yeah, check your moves.
So that is Crimson for me at 13, for you at 12, so you can move on to Sharp Dressed and the Minnesota Wild Charge.
Yep. So
Which I have at 12 and you have at 13.
So basically, we're just kind of getting both of these two birds with one stone.
True?
Wild Charge. Heatran needs to stay this match because Genesect is real. It is happening. That's a thing.
Genesect is here.
Cursed Body was annoying in the best way possible, and I did like that. Because I don't really see him needing Water Absorb this week.
Oh, he definitely didn't need Water Absorb.
Leech Seeding on the Mega Diancie. I mean, yes, you can get Leech Seeded back, but that's not gonna hit Mega Diancie anyway. And you can't argue that he predicted a switch, but the Protect was... That's what Mega Diancies do. They protect first turn.
First turn Protect, or in my case, for those of you who know from me, they go for Calm Mind against the Megadino.
That's true. Staying in with your Venusaur on a Tornadus. Question mark? I mean...
There's just the risk of Hurricane hitting, Air Slash hitting, and in fact, as he proved to have in the game, Icy Wind. Now, Icy Wind is not the strongest attack, but it's still super effective damage.
Yeah, because it's not a Mega Venusaur.
Exactly.
Confuse Ray, Stantler, lols.
Oh my god, Stantler.
And then Giga Impact, oh my god.
Yeah, I listened to his team building, and he didn't have the time to boost his happiness for return. And he didn't like the recoil from Double Edge.
So he went Giga Impact.
So fuck it!
I did have...
Recharge time from Giga Impact.
I did have in my notes that he should have ran return, but now that I see he didn't have time, it's still unfortunate. And basically, the other half of this match was stall.
Yeah, it was basically, Hariyama and Jellicent. Just recover, knock off, Cursed Body, recover, Earthquake. I feel like it was.
That's all it was.
That was the match. That was generally the match, and then those two died, and then the game was kind of over.
So yeah, I think we basically covered everything on Crimson and Sharp Dress.
So that is the Wild Charges and the Steel Wings out of the way.
So 12 and 13 are covered.
So moving on into 11, I don't remember if you have the same, but I have the Blackthorn Frogadiers and their coach Ioku.
I do have Ioku there as well.
Now I do know Ioku myself, and I feel bad for just going at you right here at 11, but the first thing that I want to look at, Darkrai check/counter or switch in general, where is it? You accidentally brought AV Electros when you had a completely different idea in mind, because I know you had the Coil Sap Cannon 100% accurate thing paralyzing everything. And yes, I did like the idea. I really do like the idea of getting Zap Cannon paralysis every turn and damage and stuff. It's basically a really, really strong nuzzle. And I really do like that idea, but then you brought AV, so you fucked up there. You didn't see the Ice Beam come in against a Gliscor with Darkrai, so that means you didn't look into what Darkrai learns, which is bad prep in my opinion. Toxic on the Banette, that was kind of nice, but again, you were kind of scared of getting Floatzel in, because that was not the status you wanted on Floatzel. And it hurts me to say, but Simisear was your best played Pokemon this match. And when Simisear is your best played Pokemon, alongside, what you have, and you didn't bring Aegislash, which is surprising enough that is itself, but you had Gliscor and Polion, there's the main two that stand out to me, but when you have at least those two, and then Simisear is your best played Pokemon, I can't recall your team at the top of my head right now. like, let's see if I can find it up real quick. Your team consisted of Electros, Empoleon, Gliscor, Simisear, Pangoro, and Megalopunny. And when you use your Simisear better than your Megalopunny, which does like 4 things, like it does have 4 moves, and it doesn't need more than 4 moves. And when you use your Simisear better than Megalopunny, you're doing something wrong.
Scarfion Simisear managed to do the best work in this match, and I don't get it.
I'm looking for reasons why this happened, but you know. Each to their own.
This has been the roast session of Ioku.
I'm sorry, Bliss. Don't hate me.
But yeah, basically.
Want to transition on to number 10, or do you have anything else you want to say?
Basically, Kelly just 100% outplayed him. The Ice Beam on
Ice Beam Darkrai.
That was you should at least scout it. And in my opinion,
definitely.
it was just a bit of safe playing. In my opinion, maybe. I don't know if you disagree with that, but... And also, the 2 Fire Blast misses at the end with Simisear was just kind of a punch in the nuts.
Just the extra rub it in like you're trash.
Because that would have been a 4-0 at least, with the Fire Blast.
It would have been put down at least a bit.
Yeah, it would not have been a 5-0.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's number 11 for us. At number 10... I'm going to go ahead and segue here. We have the New York Noivern. Is that correct?
We do, in fact, both have the New York Noivern at number 10.
So, this match, Volcarona does things.
The Volcarona does a lot of things.
A paralyzed Volcarona does things, actually.
Yeah, a paralyzed Volcarona, 1 HP, does a lot of things.
Yeah. Why didn't you kill the Volcarona with your Stone Edge Meloetta when you had the chance? You'd already gone for it. He's not switching. But, so why?
Like, from what I remember, Equa was ready to just sack off the Volcarona. He figured there's nothing more this thing can do anyways. It's paralyzed. It's at 1 HP. It's gonna die.
Yeah, so you should have
Why didn't you kill it?
Yeah. I don't remember what mon it was. I think it was the Togetic. He did get critted with a Fire Dance on one of his mons. Yeah, it sucks, but you still died at 2 Fire Dances.
So in the long run of things, it didn't really matter.
Nasty Plot Raichu way too early, but you realize that now. He tried to set it up and basically just got OHKO'd by a Fire Dance.
I'm just looking at it now. I'm just like, why did the Volcarona do so much work?
Oh, you know what? It was the Raichu that got like critted, but it would have died to 2 Fire Dances. So yeah, and Volcarona did things cool. I mean, I'll get in
Quiver Dancing and Paralyzed. I mean, you did actually manage to like kill it because you got a Psychic crit when it was at like +5.
Yeah.
But that says you kind of waited a little bit too long to take it down.
Yeah.
And that is no bueno.
Yeah. I don't think you played bad. It's just the way you played around Volcarona was not good.
The way you played around Volcarona was just bad. The rest of the match was like you didn't play bad there, but the Volcarona was just you didn't really do anything to it.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about Nate there. Do you have anything else to add?
We have covered the basis of Nate and the New York Noivern.
Alright, so number 9.
And we're gonna transition on over to the Dragon's Den Routinis and their coach T-Train at number 9.
Yes.
Now I just want to say this right now. T-Train, play good. Don't let the game play for you. Stop hacking or Verlis will get you.
Oh my god. This
7.8 out of 10. Too much hacks. Porygon 2 goes for Thunderbolt, or it goes for Thunder Wave. It had Thunder Wave. Paralyzed the Scizor. I think the Scizor got, like, in the time it was in, it got paralyzed like 5 times.
Yeah, it was...
And once you finally killed it after, like, the important crits that you got on it too, because you got, like, 3 crits on it. Once it went down, Doke switches into his Dugtrio. You go for Ice Beam, it lives. It was ready to, like, reversal you or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the play was. But then you freeze it.
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay. So then that thing dies. And then Landorus comes in. Luckily, that thing didn't get frozen from an Ice Beam and knocks off your Eviolite and switches out. You can't really do a whole lot to the Gyarados, and then you had Hitmontop against it with Seismic Toss, so you couldn't really touch it. It set up a Dragon Dance in your face, went for bounce, took down your Hitmontop. And the Gyarados continuously did a lot of damage. It couldn't, your Weezing didn't do a whole lot. It went for a Sludge Bomb, didn't get the poison, which was for the one hacks that actually didn't happen.
The most, like, probable
the
hacks.
most, like, the one that is, like, really high out there for actually happening didn't happen. So, you didn't get the poison, and Gyarados killed, like, 2 things. And Gyarados really had, like, the one thing that was holding Dox's team together. And then when that thing went down, that just kind of left, Landorus and Charizard X, and Char X killed the next Pokemon came in, and then you only had Megalodios left, and of course Char being base 100 speed and his Landorus was defensive, so it was like base, well, it's the base 91 speed anyway, so it doesn't matter. Latios could just come in, go for a Dragon Claw against the Charizard, Ice Beam against the Landorus, and that would be game. So in my opinion, I'm just gonna say right now, Verlis will get your DS and he will unhack it.
Oh yeah, if you hadn't hacked, wink, Dox would have totally won this match, 100%.
And I feel like it became a 1-0, but if you remove the hacks, I'm just gonna make a wild prediction. I feel like if this was a fully hacks-free game, this could have potentially even been a 6-0.
I'd say a 5-0.
Because the Scizor was at +4.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it could be a 5-0, but it would be a very high differential in Dox's favor if the game actually didn't hate him.
Yeah. I see it being the lowest possible of 4-0 at lowest.
Yeah, it wouldn't go any lower than that, that's for sure.
Thanks.
But, you know, the game loves you, so take him when you can.
That's true. So yeah.
Transitioning on to 8.
I just have to say, playing around Gyarados was poor. That's the one thing.
That was very poor.
That was very poor.
But then again, at the time when he got out, there was really nothing he could do to it, and then... So you did... Dox really got a good thing with the Gyarados there. And I'm just happy to see that, like, the game didn't fuck completely over.
Yeah.
Like, it did basically do it, but it could have... As they do say, it could have been worse.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Dragon Dendratinis.
That's number 9. That's number 9 in the Dragon Dendratinis.
So number 8, I believe we're doing a lot of agreeing. So
we do actually agree with the thing with, you know, your SinisterSableye. We're both coaches of St. Louis teams.
Hashtag Civil War. Anyway.
Civil War, dude.
Anyway, moving on. I believe we both have the AV Dunsparce at number 8.
Yeah, we do have Powder and the Dunsparce at number 8. So why don't you talk a little bit about Powder?
Alright, so basically, Mesprit did things at the beginning of the match. Salamence was ow while it lived.
Salamence did a lot of things while it was there.
Yeah. The thing is...
But the problem with the Salamence...
Yeah, is that it had no item when it was supposed to be Yachiberry.
It was supposed to be a berry there, but someone forgot to put it on.
Yeah, don't do that next time. Just don't.
Just double check your items before you go into battle.
And if I'm correct, he also switched in a Volcanion on a Specs.
He switched
Specs
on a
Jolt.
potential Specs. I don't remember if it was Specs, but it was a potential Specs Jolteon.
It still does damage either way.
It still does a lot of damage, and that's a no-no. You don't switch in a Water type on an Electric type when, you know, Jolteon has like 4 moves.
Yeah.
Unless you're Skiz.
Anyway.
But it does have Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power. That's like the most common Jolteon set out there.
That's like on the
and
RU ladder.
And when you have 2 of those moves being, well, when your Volcanion, your switch in, that you did, is weak to 2 of those moves, that means it's a 50% chance that it actually went for it.
Yeah.
And you don't do that.
And granted, I still feel like Powder outplayed Sketchy, but also
He did do that.
He made a lot of risky plays. Some worked, some I don't know. I think they mostly worked, but it was just a bit too risky playing for my liking. And also, I mean, I don't know if I really blame you for Natural Gift Ice. I don't know if I do.
I can't. You can't really blame him for that because
that's.
I mean, yes, Natural Gift has been used by Talonflame to take down like quad weaknesses before, not just in PGL but other leagues as well. And yes, it has worked. I've seen it from multiple leagues where there was a Natural Gift Grass one time, but yes,
but the most common thing you see is Natural Gift Fire or Scissors.
Natural Gift. It was Natural Gift. No, you don't. Natural Gift Fire with a Talonflame.
Well, I'm just saying natural gift in general.
Oh yeah, just generally. You see natural gift fire for Scizors and Mega Scizors. But then you have I've seen natural gift ground and grass previously because it was for a Heatran and I think it was a Gastrodon or something. But those were two. And then there was the now natural gift ice for Landorus, which I do give Sketchy credit for because that was brilliant. And
that was brilliant.
It's really natural gift is a move you don't see coming because people don't normally bring it.
Yeah.
And when you prep for the thing, you look, oh, Talonflame. Okay, so there's Brave Bird, Bulk Up, Acrobatics, Roost, Will-O-Wisp, U-Turn, Flare Blitz.
And that's about it.
And that's about it. You don't really look into its obscure moves.
But anyway, that's basically all I have to say. Do you have anything to add?
I don't really have anything to add to Powder. I guess next time just be sure to check your Pokemon's items.
Yeah, do that. So number 7.
Number 7 we have Equa and his Walreins. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the thing.
Worcester.
The city. Worcester Walreins. Thank you. I want to say, Equa, you did a good job keeping Volcarona or the Bug Volk alive.
Nice crack.
Thank you. I do that. But you did a great job keeping it alive, even though you were supposed to sack it. But then you were like, oh wait, he's not killing me. I can roost in his face, and then I can use it later to Quiver Dance and Fiery Dance and kill stuff and do a lot of things. And you did do a lot of things with it. And you got a couple crits, but most of them in the long run didn't really matter because you would have killed the next one and they wouldn't have taken you out. So like I know you reacted a lot in your battle to the crits mattering, but some of them didn't. So don't feel too bad for yourself. And then again, you also lost your Volcarona to a Psychic crit when you were at like +5. But I mean, when you do set up Quiver Dance and Roost, Quiver Dance, Roost, Roost, Quiver Dance, and follow that cycle up, then you're bound to get critted. So you kind of like set yourself up for the crit. And then I also want to give you credit. Quick Attack Terrakion. I just like when I saw that. Oh, my heart. That was like beautiful. Loved it. So I feel you played this game very well. It, of course, hacks. Well, not really hacks, but crits happen. You can't really control it. Sometimes it works in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. For this match, it was kind of even, I'd say. You did get a couple more crits than your opponent.
Nate.
Yeah, you did get a couple more crits than Nate, but you know that it happens, and you did play very well, despite supposed to sacking off one of your like main Pokemon.
So yeah, I do have a couple things to add if you're done with your...
I'm done with my list on him.
I do like, because that's what, in League format, it's a good skill to be able to adapt to the situation. He sees that he was trying to sack his Volcarona, but he also sees that Nate's not killing it, so maybe he can save it for later. Use it as death fodder, or do what he did with it.
just stop everything on the plan, set it up again, and kill stuff.
Yeah. I still don't know how he managed to set it up twice.
That is a very good question. Nate, what were your plans when you were battling
And I think we've already basically gone over that you should have killed that thing. Hardcore. Because...
For sure.
Because that was an AV Meloetta, it's gonna take a +1 anything.
Bug Buzz.
Yeah. And it's a...
Or Fiery Dance for that matter.
Yeah. And it's a fighting type at that point, so even then...
It does have a lower special attack stat, or SPDF stat, but still...
It's still AV.
It's gonna take it because it like the Bug Buzz is resisted if he went for it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's number 7.
That's number 7,
and
so...
I believe our number 6s are different.
Number 6, I think we have different number 6 and 4.
Number 6, I have Dokes and the Dedenes. Say that 3 times fast.
At number 5, Dokes and Dedemil. No, you can't even do it once.
No.
At number 6, I have Lax Slime and the Sydney Sea Kings.
So I'll go ahead and talk about Dokes, and then you talk about Lax.
Could do.
Alright.
Could do.
So, I put Dokes higher than... We both put Dokes higher than T-Train in our list because that was a deserved win.
T-Train didn't win. T-Train won, but not really.
But on paper, yes, he won.
Technically, he did win, but if you look at the game, itself, it wasn't T-Train who won, and it wasn't Dokes who won either. It was the game itself. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire won.
Nintendo won. Game Freak.
Game Freak wins. Reggie wins.
My body is ready.
My body.
But yeah, I mean, we've already basically talked about all the hacks that happened, and there was really nothing he could do about it. He played the Gyarados very well. Nice. And was that a power or bounce? Or was it?
I don't. No, it was not power.
No, it was not. But it was still nice. I mean, at +1, it still hurts. Anyway.
Yeah, it set up a Dragon Dance, went for bounce, came back down, got to +2, and then he killed the Weezing, so it was at +3.
Yeah. But honestly, I still feel like he deserved that win. I mean, crits on Scizor. If that Scizor didn't go down to crits and whatnot and getting paralyzed a bunch, that was potentially a 5-0.
Yeah, like, I see the 5-0, the 6-0 was there, and at the lowest you would have won 4-0. That's just how I see the game.
But yeah, we've already basically talked about it. There's nothing more.
We've been through this.
Yeah. So you have Lax at number...
I have Lax Slime at number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing was, these two matches that we've been talking about right now, one had luck in its favor, the other one really didn't. Now, let's just say, Lax played very well around all the setup, despite like getting pressured so much by it. His Roserade did stuff, and I like to see that Roserade did stuff because Roserade is like my favorite grass type in the format. And seeing Roserade do stuff and actually like Sludge Bomb's doing a lot of damage and poisoning and stuff because that's what it's supposed to do. I think it was a Leaf Storm.
Yeah.
I think it was a Leaf Storm, but that did mad damage, and you know that's what I like to see. Heracross taking it like a boss at +6 with the roll in its favor. I think we did discuss this earlier as well, but it says on his battle screen, like he did during the recording, he did look it up once he took the hit that it was a 62.3% chance to live or something like that. If I remember the calcs in my head, that's not the point. So with him living the Aqua Jet from Azumarill because it didn't get the high roll, that meant that Lax could take out the Azumarill with a Bullet Seed, and then proceed to just like take over the game from there, which means like Lax preserved his important mons for last. And I like the fact that he brought Flygon. I do like Flygon, or U-Turn, as it's called. I really do like Flygon in League format when it's used, right? I mean, it only did go for Earthquake and got killed by Rhyperior, but you know, I like the team build that like the mons that Lax did bring and how he played with them.
Yeah, and I'll add on to that when I get to him because I have him higher in my list. So
yeah, you have him like, well, you have him at this upcoming number.
What, number 5?
We're basically done number 5 because, well, I don't know who you have at number 5.
For number 5, I have the New York Lynx and Papa C.
Right, I have Papa C at number 4.
So we can both just kind of segue on that.
We can both segue into Papa C.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say stuff. Tornadus, ouch.
And Tornadus, ouch. Love it.
It pretty much pressured Sharkrest's whole team. So, yeah.
It really did, and when he went for the Icy win against the Haxorus, that just meant that the game was done, because he couldn't set up the Dragon Dance. Well, he got the attack boost, but he couldn't get the speed boost to catch up.
Which means Tornadus takes it out. Yeah,
which means Tornadus is just gonna chill being Sonic, being faster, and then that was just the game right there. And then this was the rest of the game was basically stalled.
Yeah, we've already gone into the Hariyama.
We've gone over Hariyama Jellison battle.
We don't need to stall it out any longer.
I see what you did there. Bad pun.
7.8 out of 10. Too much meme.
Too much memes.
But I do have to give one criticism in this match, and that was the Rock. I did like the idea of Rock Polish Mega Diancie, but he switches in the Heatran. Now, what do Heatrans usually run?
Now, if you look at it, there's 2 items here, because it switches so blindly in on a Mega Diancie, which means it's either A, Choice Scarf, or B, Shukaberry.
And it's Shuka.
And if you see it switch up moves, you know it's a Shukaberry. So if you see it switch up moves, you know it. But if it didn't switch up, then you can assume Scarf. but that still means you don't want to stay in on it.
That was the most obvious Shuckleberry I've ever seen. And Flash Cannon just destroys Mega Diancie.
And then boom. I'm pretty sure Flash Cannon kills like 2 Diancies.
Basically. I mean, HP Steal from Beyond Mega kills Mega Diancies.
Hashtag season 2.
Anyway, but that's all I have to say. Other than that Mega Diancie play, he played really well, and just...
By the way, I looked into it. I was right. Flash Cannon from Etren does kill 2 Diancies.
That's awesome, because Mega Diancie...
That is cool.
It's cool. So, that is number 5, and your number 4.
Yeah, and your number 4, which we have kind of gone over, but you can take your note on, Laxlime.
Yes, I do have the Sydney Sea Kings Laxlime at number 4, and we've already touched up on a bunch of things, or at least Dan has.
But if you have some extra couple notes that you want to toss in just to, get it out there.
I do have in my notes Crit City.
Crit City.
I do love the fact that he saw in team building that Belly Drum Azumarill was a possibility, and he ran max HP, max attack, Heracross, Mega Heracross, meaning he can live and just hit it with a Bullet Seed. And then the only thing I have to add after that is GG, it's Arcanine.
GG, it is indeed Arcanine.
So yeah, that's all I have to add. Dan's pretty much already gotten over most of it. So at number 3, anyway.
Ooh, I think it's the Boston Silk Scarfs?
Yes, and I also have them there.
The thing I want to say about the Boston Silk Scarfs. He did have he was limited on time for prep. It wasn't like the easiest to get the prep done, but he got like the really nice, he got a really nice team going for the time he had.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you did have the Cofagrigus, Umbreon matchup, and if you can stall, do it. Do it. Just do it. I know people don't like stall. I'm assuming you don't. I know, and Nestor probably doesn't either, or any other for that matter. There's some people who like fight for stall's a legit.
Hell, I don't like stall
Stop
either.
Stop bitching about it. But the thing is, if you can stall in a 1v1 between 2 walls, and you know you're gonna win the matchup, then do it. You're gonna win the matchup anyway, so I mean, finish it off. And also, I want to say, Rhydon, ouch. That 360 Mega Horn no scope, get fucking red. I'm sorry.
That was
PG.
GG.
PG doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I also want to add in, once Nestor's team was weakened, Mega Scizor was Mega Scizor. It did things and it killed stuff.
Basically. So yeah.
And there really isn't more to add on. It was a good win, and I definitely see you doing well further on if you keep it up like you did against Nestor.
I do have to say, I want to add one more thing to that, and, you know, as much as I don't like stall, I admit it's a legitimate playstyle, and that was the only way he was going to beat that Cofagrigus, because let's face it, it's an Umbreon.
I mean, Umbreon doesn't die.
It's just fat. It just doesn't die, and I personally
hated for it.
I have strong opinions of Umbreon in League format. Fuck it, but
not even subtle.
Not even subtle. But I mean, I do have to admit it's a good mod.
It is indeed a very good mod.
So yeah, is that all you have to add for Boston Silk Scarfs?
That's all I have for the Silk Scarfs.
Because at number 2, and I don't remember if we have the same thing, I have
the Seattle Staraptors.
Hey,
and
nice and
Gearhart.
James Pinch Poke, you owe me a Coke.
No, I already said Gearhart. Pick it.
Don't ruin my things.
Yeah, damn it. Don't ruin it.
Damn it. But anyway, oh my god, Kyurem White is a threat. Why do they allow Kyurem White? I don't know.
You think about it. You see Kyurem Black, you're thinking, oh yeah, I understand why this thing is allowed. You know, its move pool is special, and its special attack is 120, lower than, you know, Gengar, Latios, etc. But then you look at Kyurem White.
Yeah.
Kyurem White has the reverse stats of Kyurem Black, with the base 170 special attack stat. And you're like, wait.
And granted, each team does get one Uber, and I think Kyurem White is probably the best Uber that's taken.
Not even every team. I think they have an S tier thing, and Laxlime there has Manaphy as an S tier instead of like an Uber.
Anyway, I'm not completely sure. I do know that basically Ubers are allowed, but they're very expensive. Anyway.
Yeah, they are very expensive. That's true.
So let's just I did put down during team preview, take out the Chansey and Kirim White wins.
And you did with Superpower because Crimson didn't bring defense investments in
You're not
Chansey.
gonna let that go, are you?
No, I'm not. Because that is like playing Chansey very wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but that just offends me. I'm triggered.
You triggered. Trigger alert.
Trigger alert.
Very nice predictions during the entire match with Wild Charge Ember and Superpower Nidoking. I can't wait to go see Get Predicted 2 Predict Harder in theaters coming this summer.
Coming October 2058.
I mean, I may be in a wheelchair, but I'm still going to see it.
I'm still gonna go see it.
I love the idea of a counter Gastrodon because that does things like...
it sponges hits and then retaliates.
Pretty much, yeah. And it can actually like kill things, because Gastrodon doesn't have the highest attacks,
but they're not weak either. It's not a passive wall.
it's not a super passive wall, but it's not
It's not an offensive wall, but it's not passive either. It's somewhere in between.
I'd agree with that. And I do have to note, because, you know, what Gear said, Hail Mary, on that sucker punch at the end.
Oh, true.
Hail Mary.
Shout out to the Rocky Helmet.
Shout out to the Rocky Helmet, that pretty much won the game.
True.
I don't have anything else to add if you do.
I don't have anything else on Gearheart, which this leads us to number 1, being under the radar, Kelly and his Torterra pins.
So, yeah, that's the thing that happened. 5-0.
This thing, you know, Darkrai, opponent had no switch-ins.
None.
And his opponent's best Pokemon, like we mentioned, was Simisear. And Kelly overall just read every move that Ioku went for almost.
Pretty much at that point. Like, it wasn't really that close in the match, like, because I feel like for every Mon that, technically for every Mon it took out, 6 went down, but...
True.
But like, for every time that Ioku made a...
Basically, every time Darkrai came in, it got a kill.
Basically. And Rocky Helmet Jirachi is nice. It shows that he's not gonna just run the Choice Scarf Flinch Hacks set every week.
Because that set is kinda bad.
I mean, it's good, but it's bad.
It's good, but it's bad. Because one Sucker Puncher, and that set is kinda neutralized.
Also, I noticed your Darkrai name is the same as my Mega Pinsir name, so... Nice. Scouting on point, because you basically were able to, like, think, okay, he's gonna have this, so I better do insert move here. And basically, it worked out.
And then, of course, there was the game could have possibly been a little bit different if it wasn't an Assault Vested Electros with Coil. I mean, there are things that I'm not going to let go, like no Item Salamence, Assault Vested Electros, no Defense Chansey. There's things that one does not simply let go.
And I do have my last note on Kelly is Victini, ouch! Like, mega ouch.
Recreate and done.
Recreate and you win.
That is how it goes.
Basically. So, you have anything else to add on Kelly there?
No, I think we've basically wrapped it all up. And just to go for a quick through, if you just want to like note off from bottom, top from Mania, like I can do it for mine, you can do it for yours.
Alright, so...
At 16, we both share Sketchy Smeargle and his Seattle Smeargles.
Pretty much, yeah.
15 is Nestor27 and his Detroit Cobalions.
Correct. Number 14 is the Denver Diglets.
For me, I have number 13 being the Detroit Steelwings and Crimson Seabed, while you have the Minnesota Wild Charges and Sharp Dressed.
Pretty much, yes.
And then it reverses on the 12, where I have Minnesota Wild Charge and you have Detroit.
Yes.
At number 11, we have Blackthorn Frogadiers.
Yes.
At number 10, we have the New York Noiverns.
Yep.
At number 9, we have the Dragon Den Dratinis.
I think he was the only person that won, yet still ended up being on the bottom half of the...
Because he didn't win.
Because that's fair enough.
That's just how I'm gonna say it. He won, but he didn't win. Then we have, at number 8, we have Powda and the AV Dunsparcelona.
Mm-hmm.
At number 7, we have Equa and the Worcester Walreins.
Is it, okay, Equa, is it like equals not funny or something?
I think it's supposed to be Aqua, just with an E, so Equa.
Well, we'll read up on that.
We'll hear with him. At number 6, I have Lax Slime and the Sydney Sea Kings, while you have Dokes and the Dendemil Dedenes.
Yep.
I have Dokes at number 5, and you have Papa C and the New York Clinks.
Correct.
While at number 4, I have Papa C and the New York Clinks, while you have Lax
Lax
and the Sydney Sea Kings. At number 3, we have the Boston Silk Scarves. At number 2, we have Gearhart and the Seattle Star Raptors. And at number 1, we have Kelly Under the Radar and his Torterra Pins.
And that sums it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button and such things.
Subscribe to all the coaches as battles do go up on, I think it is Friday?
Yeah, I think it's Friday.
Yeah, I think that Friday uploads for PGL.
Mhm.
So make sure to check out all the coaches links in the description and see when the games come out, and of course also check out all the analysts.
Yeah, especially us,
because love us, please. Notice us.
Please notice us, senpais.
Senpais notice us. But that's it for us. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next week with more weekly power rankings.
Boy.
Bye.
Boy.